Welcome, muggles, wizards, and witches alike, to the Christmas Extravaganza of whimsical wizardry.
The podcast where we as siblings have a holly jolly time while discussing everything Harry Potter.
We are your hosts. I am Brittany Howard.
And I'm Kenneth Campbell.
And this week, we're going to combine all the elements of whimsical wizardry with Christmas.
We will be talking about Hogwarts at Christmas time and all the traditions that come with that. For this first segment of Owl Onset, we will be mixing it up a little, and instead of discussing a chapter from the first Harry Potter book, we will be looking at a Christmas scene instead.
Now we are going to go ahead and get started. On Christmas Eve, Harry went to bed looking forward to the next day for the food and fun, but not expecting any presents at all. When he woke up early in the morning, however, the first thing he saw was a small pile of packages at the foot of his bed. "Merry Christmas," said Ron sleepily as Harry scrambled out of bed and pulled on his bathrobe. "You too," said Harry. "Will you look at this? I've got presents." "What did you expect, turnips?" said Ron, turning to his own pile, which was a lot bigger than Harry's. Harry picked up the top parcel. It was wrapped in a thick brown paper and scrawled across, "To Harry from Hagrid." Inside was a rough-cut wooden flute. Hagrid had obviously whittled it himself. Harry blew it. It sounded a bit like an owl. A second, very small parcel contained a note. "We received your message and enclosed your Christmas present from Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia." Taped to the note was a 50-pence piece. "That's friendly," said Harry. Ron was fascinated by the 50 pence. "Weird," he said. "What a shape. This is money?" "You can have it," said Harry, laughing at how Ron was. "Hagrid and my Aunt Petunia. So who sent these?" "I think I know who that one's from," said Ron, turning a bit pink and pointing to the very lumpy parcel. "My mom. I told her you didn't expect any presents, and oh no," he groaned, "she's made you a Weasley sweater." Harry had torn open the parcel to find a thick hand-knitted sweater in emerald green and a large box of homemade fudge.
"Every year she makes us a sweater," said Ron, unwrapping his own, "and mine's always maroon." "That's really nice of her," said Harry, trying the fudge, which was very tasty. His next present also contained candy, a large box of chocolate frogs from Hermione. This only left one parcel. Harry picked it up and felt it. It was very light. He unwrapped it. Something fluid and silvery gray went slithering to the floor when it lay in gleaming folds. Ron gasped. "I've heard of those," he said in a hushed voice, dropping the box of every flavor beans gone from Hermione. "If that's what I think it is, they're really rare and really valuable." "What is it?" Harry picked the shining silvery cloth off the floor. It was strange to the touch, like water woven into material. "It's an invisibility cloak," said Ron, a look of awe on his face. "I'm sure it is. Try it on." Harry threw the cloak around his shoulders, and Ron gave a yell. "It is! Look down!" Harry looked down at his feet, but they were gone. He dashed to the mirror. Sure enough, his reflection looked back at him, just his head suspended in midair, his body completely invisible. He pulled the cloak over his head, and his reflection vanished completely. "There's a note," said Ron suddenly. "A note fell out of it." Harry pulled off the cloak and seized the letter. Written in narrow, loopy writing he had ever seen before were the following words: "Your father left this in my possession before he died. It is time it was returned to you. Use it well. A very Merry Christmas to you." There was no signature. Harry stared at the note. Ron was admiring the cloak.
Okay, so that was our first Christmas segment that we've ever seen in a Harry Potter book. What'd you think?
It was actually that was actually really cool. And when I picture Christmas, I think of that thought where you wake up, you go get presents, and it's just like a really fun time.
Right. It's like that warm and cozy feeling that like every kid has. And it was cool that Harry actually got presents when he wasn't expecting them. And he had like this moment with Ron that, like, in my opinion, kind of solidified their friendship in the first book.
Yeah, and it's awesome that he got to experience something that he's actually never experienced before. Because probably in the past, Dudley's just like gotten all the gifts and he's just had to watch him. And now he's like, whoa, I can't believe I actually got gifts. But really, he did because he has friends.
Yeah. And I mean, he actually got something from the Dursleys, which was which he gave to Ron. But I mean, it was just funny. That was friendly.
Yeah, I think that was really funny because it was just like, whoa, they actually gave him a present, but it's just like not not really much of anything.
It's just a dollar bill.
Yeah. And it's like, couldn't you have done something a little bit better? But it does like show what their kind of like experience and personalities are like.
Right, right. And I mean, it's surprising that they sent him anything. So I think he was just surprised in general.
Yeah, and for me, I'm kind of picturing the movie in my head, and it's just like he like kind of like goes down the stairs, I think, and he's just like, "Oh, Ron, hi," and then
Oh,
they
and the
just start
music's
opening
playing.
it. The music's so good.
Yeah. I love the music in the first movie. Like it makes everything. Like I can hear it in my head, the Christmas scene.
Me too. And it's like I kind of wish Hermione was there in the first one, but it kind of makes sense because it's just a moment with Ron and Harry, and it's like they're young, and nothing really bad has happened to Harry yet. He's just at this new school, and it's just fun.
And he's establishing friends and like
Hmm.
creating this new world for himself. So I think this was a good like beginning holiday scene for Harry. Like it's actually like a genuinely wholesome time.
Yeah, because in the future, it's like Voldemort's there now, and I have to freak out about this. But like right now, he's just like, studying about why there's a dog named Fluffy inside of the third door at I don't remember, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's very nice. Moving along to Divination Digest, we have a special movie that is near and dear to both of our hearts this holiday season.
I hope you're talking about the same movie I think you're talking about.
Of course. What other movie would it be? It's A Boy Called Christmas, the new Netflix original adapted from the book by Matt Haig.
Yes, I love that movie. This goes along in the lines of Harry Potter as well, seeing as it includes McGonagall and Slughorn in the cast.
Yeah, which I thought like that honestly that's what made me want to watch it to begin with was that I saw that there were so many Harry Potter characters in this one movie.
Like it was so good because of the trailer too, and McGonagall just starts like narrating it, and it's like, what? This is like so good, and her voice is amazing.
Oh yeah, I love Maggie Smith. Like she's one of my favorite actresses and this just made me love her even more
Hmm.
especially because this movie was so magical. Like I was so surprised by it. Like I thought it was just going to be another like kids Christmas movie.
Hmm.
But it turned out to be a lot more than that.
Yeah, and I was actually surprised that Maggie Smith was still acting, but it was really like good because it kind of like added that effect of she's like the old aunt and she's awesome.
Which they didn't know at the beginning, right?
Hmm. At the beginning, they just thought she was kind of like she was just this person who was kind of like mean and grouchy, but later they learned that she's actually like kind of awesome.
Yeah, which I don't know. Are we going to do spoilers in this?
Hmm. Okay, how about this? We're gonna give you a spoiler when we start talking about the spoilers. Okay, here's the spoilers right now. We're talking about it. So if you want to skip ahead, then you can skip ahead to the next section.
I think that's fair because there's some things that I just need to get off my chest with this movie.
Yeah. So the first thing I think is who exactly is the aunt?
Ruth?
Yeah, who is Aunt Ruth? Who is she?
I mean, I think I don't know. Like at the beginning of the movie, they're looking and they're like they're trying to figure it out and she's just like this grouchy old woman and guys like spoilers, but I think at this point like you get to the end of the movie and we remember her saying at the beginning I can't tell lies and we've just watched this whole
Hmm.
thing. So I think she's the truth fairy
I thought that too, because like
or the
right
truth
when she walks
pixie.
in the door, she just started like saying, "Oh, you guys look terrible," and
Right, like she
she's just
couldn't
like,
hold it in.
"Yeah, like what was that?" And she was just like, and I don't think that's something that she generally would want to say. I think it's something that she was kind of forced to say.
Right, which is what like happened with the truth pixie when we were with Nicholas and they were
Hmm.
in like the village, like she couldn't help but say the truth, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And so maybe
And
as she got older, she was able to hide it more, but it still comes across as rude.
yeah, it does. I mean, yeah, and she's like an awesome character too. So I feel like even with that aspect, she kind of tries to make the best of it, and she tries to use it for good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other
Hmm.
thing that I liked about this movie was that it was a story inside of a story.
Hmm.
And so we get the story of the family that just lost their mom, and like their dad's trying to do the best they can. The kids are really sad. They don't want to celebrate Christmas. And so we have their
Hmm.
aunt coming over. And then we get the whole story about Nicholas and how he's called Christmas and he needs to go, find the elves. And
And
it's
speaking
just
of that,
wonderful.
yeah. And speaking of that, who's your favorite character?
Oh my goodness, my favorite character. It's hard not to love Nicholas because
Hmm.
there's several reasons why I like him. But if I couldn't pick Nicholas because he's the main character, I think Mika would be my favorite.
Oh, that's crazy because I was actually about to say Mika. Like Mika's like, I don't know, he's just like kind of outgoing, kind of like he's like like he's like sassing everyone, and he's like this cute little mouse, and he's like awesome.
He provides the comic relief for sure.
Hmm.
Which like I found myself cracking up, like laughing out loud several times because of just lines that he randomly had.
Yeah, and I feel like the most like Mika is definitely very comedic, but then you look over at Slughorn, not Slughorn, the king, but the actor plays it as Slughorn, and he's just like I've never seen that side of him before because he's usually like pretty serious, but he's still funny in Harry Potter. But in this, he was just like this huge like comedian person, and he wasn't really serious. He was like that kind of funny king, like the one from Hamilton.
Yeah, kind of like happy go lucky, but like also still a king. Like I think I knew he was going to be funny when we first saw him and the guy was coughing and he goes, "Do you want water? Because somebody can get you water. I don't know who it will be, but somebody will bring water."
Yeah, it seemed like he was just like he's kind of like not really like he's like kind of socially awkward, but like it adds to the character effect because since he's been like a royal for so long, he doesn't really know what like is actually right to say.
Right, right. Which at the end, like he kind of just lets go a little bit of that
Hmm.
royalness, whatever you want to call it. And he just is himself around Nicholas, especially towards the end when he's going around delivering things with him.
Hmm.
And I really liked that. I like seeing him sort of let go of that pretense.
And speaking of that, like a little like thing, Christmas. That Nicholas is Santa, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's definitely Santa, and I kind of like got that because I've watched it was like a claymation movie, and I think it's called Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
That's
And
my favorite claymation movie.
yeah, and that guy literally acts exactly like Nicholas. And
Yeah.
Nicholas is just sitting there, and he's like super nice, kind of curious, and he just wants to make other people happy.
Okay, so my favorite thing about Nicholas was at the end of the movie, he's delivering things to everybody. He goes back to his rude aunt and gives her
Mhm.
chocolate. Like the woman wouldn't let him sleep inside. He slept outside in the middle of winter.
Exactly.
He ate his own turnip doll from his mother and he still brought her chocolate. Like
Hmm.
that just shows me how great of a person he really was. Like it wasn't like an eye for an eye, you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you. It was, I believe people need to genuinely be good, and so I'm going to show you grace.
And I think that's the only reason the aunt is like kind of mean in the first place is because she's never really had someone that's been nice to her in her life. And I mean, Nicholas is there, but like it's not like she kind of was forced into that situation of taking care of a kid. And even though what she did was wrong, I feel like she didn't really understand what was sort of right to do.
Or what was needed. I think she was just very selfish.
Yeah, because she's never really been in a situation where she could like find out what is nice and what is right, and she doesn't have like those sort of manners that your parents teach you when you're a kid.
I agree. I agree. And I think like the difference between his dad and her, like it's almost hard to believe that they grew up together and they were related. I mean, the dad has
Mhm.
flaws of his own, and so does Aunt Carlotta, but they were different flaws.
I think this movie was like really good.
I love this movie. Like it was so magical. It made me, so it is adapted from a book. And Matt Haig is a pretty popular author. He just wrote another book called The Midnight Library that got really popular last year or 2 years ago. But I didn't know that he had written like a middle grade story. So this book is a middle grade. And then there are a few others. One of them is from Mika's perspective. And then one from, I believe, Nicholas's children's perspective.
That's really cool. I actually didn't know that he was like an actual author.
Yeah. And the books, like, I mean, they're not super long. So, I mean, they would be cool to check out if you guys were interested.
I might do that in the future because this movie was like actually something that I really loved. So hopefully I will be able to find that like soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today in Silly Sortings, we will be sorting the characters from The Boy Called Christmas.
We're going to focus on a few. So, we're going to talk about Nicholas, Mika, the Truth Pixie, Aunt Carlotta, and the King. So, who would you like to start with?
How about we start with Nicholas since he's the main character?
I think that's a good idea. So, let's talk about Nicholas's character. I mean, we already kind of talked a little bit about how he's like genuinely a good person, like a very wholesome person.
Mm-hmm.
But what else do you think about him?
But I feel like he also has that curiosity and that wonder inside of him because he wants to figure out if this sort of, what's it called?
Elfhelm.
Elfhelm is real. And he wants to know if it's like an actual thing. And he does whatever he can to like figure it out, even with his aunt trying to like put him down about it. He's like, I want to figure out what this is, and I'm going to do anything to help my dad.
I agree. I think he has a sense of adventure. Like he wants to go to Elfhelm. Once he finds the map, he's like, I'm going. I'm gonna get there. But he's also very courageous. Like I think of when he met Blitzen in the woods. Like not many people would go up to a giant reindeer and offer to help them, especially after it just ran straight at you.
And I feel like he's also very, like, he has this sort of thing that I like with animals where he kind of has a connection with them, kind of with Mika. Like his dad was like, stop talking to that thing. I just want to kill it. And he's just like, no, I'm gonna make it talk and I'm gonna figure out how to make it like start speaking actual words.
I agree. So what do you think? Where is Nicholas gonna land? I have my idea.
I have my idea too. I'm kind of going towards Gryffindor because he has that sense of bravery with going towards animals. He is super kind. He's kind of courageous where he doesn't really care if he goes into Elfhelm and he doesn't care if he does anything. And he just has a good heart in general. So I think he would definitely go into Gryffindor because he's not really like that kind of thing where he really cares about being smart. So he's not a Ravenclaw. He's not a Slytherin because he doesn't really have very many ambitions. He's not really Hufflepuff because even though he has a good heart, like if somebody's being mean to him, he is like that type of person that would give like anything to them. But then again, he doesn't like, he kind of just deals with it. He doesn't really like try to be kind right away.
I think, like, I was gonna say there was a tie in my mind at first between Hufflepuff and Gryffindor, mainly because of how he acted with his aunt, um, and how he just like, even though she tried to get him down, he was like, "I'm gonna continue to do my work. Like, I hate this, but I'm gonna work hard," which is very Hufflepuff. Not being walked all over, but I don't think that's what was happening. But I agree with you. I think that Gryffindor is definitely where he lands because he is very courageous. He's very brave. He's willing to go to Elfhelm on his own, which is so far away. And how old is this kid? I mean, he was so young.
Probably like 12 or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I agree with you. I think Gryffindor for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, one other thing that kind of pushed me that way is he's kind of similar to me.
I agree.
And
I agree. I can see you in him.
yeah, and he's like, even though he has some different like attributes about him that I don't have, like I'm a little bit more like cranky at some points, but he's still like very similar to me. Like I love animals, he loves animals. We're both very like we want to explore, and he's just that kind of Gryffindor type.
Right. And I also liked how he had like a very like joyful outlook on life despite not having anything. What about Mika?
So Mika, um, I think he's like, I kind of want to put him in, no, I kind of want to put him in Slytherin.
Really? I would have put him in Ravenclaw.
Why do you want to put him in Ravenclaw? He's not that smart.
He's okay, one, he's a talking mouse, and
Okay.
two, he like I don't know if you remember, but once he started like talking, he would sit on his shoulder and he would continue to practice his words, and he wanted to continue learning. Um and
But that ambition, it's the ambition.
he did have ambition. I'll give you that. I could see Slytherin just purely on the ambition.
Yeah.
But you got to give me another reason. What else?
I don't know. He's ambitious. He's kind of like cunning where he doesn't really want to go back. He completely like follows him and he want to make sure that Nicholas is okay. And even though he doesn't aspire to be like the smartest person in the world. He doesn't want to be smart. He just wants to communicate with people.
I agree with that. Okay, I can give you that. And then I also think too that like with the ambition, like he's also very protective of Nicholas. Because I'm
Hmm.
thinking about like when they met the pixie when he was getting put in the tower, like he was very protective in that moment. So I could see that protectiveness with the cunning, with the intelligence, because Slytherins are intelligent. I
Hmm.
could see him being a Slytherin.
So you're gonna go with my side?
I'll go with your side.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So Mika is a Slytherin.
All right. The next one is the Truth Pixie or Aunt Ruth. I guess they're the
Uh,
same.
yeah, I'm gonna give her. See, it's very hard to sort the truth pixie because, like, she doesn't really have a personality because she has to tell the truth.
But she does have a personality. Like I don't know, like her throwing the firecrackers, loving explosives, being willing to sacrifice herself when Nicholas needed to get away, even though she knew she was going to get put back in like the tower or whatever.
So you're talking about? Are you leaning towards Gryffindor?
I kind of am because I think she's willing to be selfless.
Okay, okay, I can see that. I'm gonna go with you with that one. I think she is a Gryffindor.
Because there's no like loyalty to any family or even the pixies.
Hmm.
There's no, so it's not like she's trying to make a name for herself, so it's not Slytherin. um
Yeah.
she's smart, but that's not like her goal of what she wants to do.
Hmm.
She doesn't really make friends because of the whole truth thing, so I think the only one
Hmm.
that's left is Gryffindor.
Yeah, she can definitely be in my house.
All right. What about Aunt Carlotta? Now, we really need to dig into this one because I don't just want to throw her into like the stereotypical she's evil, therefore she should be Slytherin.
Okay, so give me a minute. What do you think about it?
Okay, so let me just break her down a little bit. So she definitely has like a selfish side. Um, she wants big things for herself. Like she wants I feel like she wants a name for herself, which all of the things that I'm saying are Slytherin. So she may in
She
fact be a
doesn't want a name
Slytherin.
for herself, though.
She
She
wanted
doesn't
to,
want a name for herself.
what do you mean? She wanted to be like royalty and have chocolate and
She just wants that because that's what any poor person wants. You're like looking at it like that. But really, she's like sitting here and she just wants to have like a normal life. I mean, she doesn't really care about being in this cabin because it means that, she can kind of help out with her like loss of her sister, which died, and she can kind of like be able to kind of move past it a little, and she doesn't really want to be royalty.
I don't know. I saw her completely differently. So what else do you think about her?
I think that she's kind of this person who just like, I mean, yeah, she like does mean things, but I'm thinking of it from like a kind of like a different point of view. She was grown up differently. This was what she was raised to do. It's not like her personality.
Okay. So then her personality would be what?
I'm thinking of the chocolates. Like she kind of loves. chocolate, and that doesn't really show you anything. But it's like she loves these random things in the world, and she's kind of just like your typical like
She's
girl who
for
just
the joy of the little things.
of the little things, and it doesn't even matter if she's like she doesn't understand that this like beetroot means something to Nicholas, and I feel like she's just sort of mistaken in parts of it. Well, even though she's evil, there are parts that are kind of hidden behind that evilness.
All right. Well, I'm taking away Hufflepuff because I don't think she's a Hufflepuff. She's just not very good with
Oh,
people.
she's not good with people, but like, mm,
You think she's
I
a
kind of
Hufflepuff?
I want to put her in Hufflepuff just because she's you always have that one person in the house that you definitely don't think they would be in that house, but they are, because behind everything of what they are, they just fit in there.
Aunt Carlotta as a Hufflepuff.
I think that if she had the right people by her, like Harry did, and if she was actually like in a
If she
good
grew up
place,
better.
yeah, if she like not even if she grew up better, but like even if she's like her own age and she goes and she like makes friends and she learns how to be nice, she could be like the best Hufflepuff, I think.
I mean, I could see that if we're talking about like a character's potential, but just the way she is in the movie, I don't know.
Because I'm crossing off Slytherin because I don't think she's ambitious.
So I think we're at a standstill on this one. I'm not saying Slytherin because of the evil thing. That's not what I mean at all. Um, so I would say Slytherin, but for the reasons that I said earlier. But you're gonna say Hufflepuff, huh?
Yeah, so I guess we're at a tie between Slytherin and Hufflepuff.
All right. Well, we'll
We've
leave it
got
there.
ourselves a Slitherpuff.
We got a Slitherpuff, and we'll let you guys decide. Let us know. What do you think about Aunt Carlotta? All right. The last one we have is the king. The king, the quirky king.
King is so funny. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the king in Hufflepuff.
I 100% agree.
Like
He's
he's like totally like yet there.
he's funny. He like loves people. He really wants to find something to bring joy to his kingdom because his kingdom's kind of falling apart.
Mhm. And
I
even though
agree.
he doesn't have that like really big piece of kindness, it's just because he's kind of like not in a mean way, but he's just a little bit like kind of dumb.
Well, and
But
not only
even
just that, but he's been royalty for so long that I think he's kind of lost touch.
yeah, and he just wants to do something good and be good. So that's kind of his main thing. And when you think of royalty, usually royalty are just like they only care about themselves, or at least that's what I think about. But for him, I feel like he wants to do something for his actual kind of colony.
Nice. All right. So we agree. The king is a Hufflepuff.
Definitely.
Well, guys, that's all of the characters for this segment. In Quick Quiz Quills, we have a special quiz that's going to tell us which character we are from The Boy Called Christmas.
This is going to be really exciting. I kind of want to get Mika.
Well, I guess we'll see. Let's go ahead and get started with the quiz.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, if you guys want to check out this quiz, it is in the description down below. I know in the last episode we did put it in the description, but we didn't really see that. So, if you do want to do that quiz as well, that one's in the last episode's description.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, what is your strength? And the options are dedication, discipline, creativity, or trustworthiness.
This is kind of hard. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh man, it's not hard for me. I'm totally going with creativity.
Definitely not discipline. Dedication. I no. I'm gonna go with creativity too.
All right. We agree.
Okay, and the next question is, what is your biggest fear? Being alone without family or friends, not being successful financially, My greatest fear is to have no more fear, not believing in myself.
I mean, I think I'm going between two of them. So I think
Hmm.
I'm stuck between A, being alone without family or friends, and D, not believing in myself.
Okay, so I for you, I think it might be I don't know. I can see you being not believing in myself, but it's really your choice. But for me, I think I'm gonna go with is to have no more fear.
Okay, I could see that.
Because if you don't have fear, then I guess the point is really if you don't have fear, then what are you gonna do? You kind of need that fear to be okay.
I see what you're saying. Like, fear allows us to grow.
Yeah, and it allows us to be who we are.
All right. So that's the one you're picking?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with not believing in myself.
Okay, cool.
Number 3, what really makes you angry? Liars and lies, abusive parents, screaming children, bad manners.
Oh, screaming children.
I'm a teacher. I'm used to screaming children.
No, but it's just so annoying. Like I'm going and like I
Oh,
hear
don't get
these
me
children.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I didn't say it wasn't annoying. I just said I was
I
used to
guess
it.
so. I think I'm gonna go with screaming children because it's kind of annoying, like really annoying.
Really? I think I'm going to go with abusive parents. That just really gets my blood boiling.
What makes you laugh the most? Sarcastic jokes, watching a stand-up comedian on TV, reading a comic book, or seeing someone make fun of someone else.
I kind of know which one our family kind of falls into.
Yeah. I think I'm
we
definitely gonna cross off seeing someone and making fun of someone else.
I could see that. That's the one that I was going to say that our family kind of falls into because we all kind of make fun of each other in like a jesting kind of funny kind of way.
Hmm.
But I could see you crossing that one off.
But if you like think about like friends and stuff, I don't know. I just don't like that kind of thing.
I'm all about sarcasm, so I'm going to go sarcastic jokes.
Okay. I'm gonna go with reading a comic book because even if I read a novel, I just like look at like different things and I'm like, oh, that's actually really funny, and I start laughing in class, and my friends like, what are you laughing at? And I just like, it's this book, it's so funny.
All right. Number 5. If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? Working, playing games, traveling, doing sports. Oh, this one's so easy for me.
Oh,
I'm
what
gonna
would you
pick
choose?
I'm picking traveling. Definitely not working.
I'm picking between playing games and traveling
Ooh.
because it's like, how are you traveling? Are you like in the car or are you on foot?
I mean, either way, I'm going somewhere.
No, but it's just like if you're in a car, I hate cars. If you're in an airplane, I've never been in an airplane, so I really want to go on an airplane. So it kind of matters to me.
Okay, so say airplane.
I would like to travel.
All right, I think that's your answer.
Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, drive a car, or walk?
Personally, I'm afraid of farm animals, so I'm gonna nix ride a horse.
I mean, I would love to try it, but I've never done it before, so I don't really know how scary it is.
I've done it before and I just feel out of control. Not that you can control
Mm.
anything else, but like the animal has a mind of its own.
I mean, yeah, but it's like guys, if you don't know, my sister has a Great Dane, and it's huge, and it's basically a horse, and she's saying that she does not want to ride a horse.
He doesn't, I think I forget how big he is actually. But horses are huge. He's more like a
He's a
pony. He's a
horse.
pony.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna go with walk just because once again I do not like cars. Bikes, I mean bikes are fun, but I feel like with bikes you're more trying to like I don't know. For me, bikes, I can't really focus when I'm on a bike. When walking, you're just like kind of looking at things and you're trying to see what's going on and you're just having a fun time kind of exploring.
I think I'm going to go with riding a bike. I just love bikes. I think they're fun. Number 7, what type of music do you listen to? Rock, pop, classical, or electronic?
Okay, guys, so for me, I play the cello, but I don't really like listen to classical music. And I don't listen to electronic music. I don't listen to rock music because I just hate rock music. No offense to those people. But I'm going to go with pop because it does include some types of like instruments that are classical, but it has a whole different section of what it can be.
I would agree with you on that one for yourself. For me, it's between pop and classical because I do listen to a lot of classical while I work. But so I think I'm going to pick classical for this one.
Okay. What would you rather do? Wash dishes, mow the lawn, clean the bathroom, or vacuum the house?
Oh man, I don't want to do any of these things.
Yeah, me either. This is like terrible.
If I had to pick one, for me, the least like horrible is vacuuming.
That's what I was gonna choose too, because it's also kind of fun. Because you're just like, phew, you're going around the house with the vacuum cleaner.
Only see, guys, you can tell how young he is because he thinks vacuuming is fun.
I mean, it's not like it's not fun, but it's like it's the least of like all those other ones are really hard.
I agree. It's the least horrible. Number 9. What is your favorite food? Meat, pasta, milk, vegetables. Oh man. So I just recently found out that I'm lactose intolerant. Like actually, like I had my suspicions. But like I was told by the doctor that that's what it is. And so I'm not picking milk because it really messes with my stomach.
I did you tell me that because I don't remember that.
I know. I just found out not long ago. So I've been trying to like cut back and like we've bought almond
Mhm.
milk and stuff because I just like I'll drink or eat something with dairy in it and I'm not joking, 10 minutes later my stomach hurts so bad.
But like ice cream, it's so good.
Oh, I love it. It's not stopping me from eating it. It's just it hurts.
hmm Okay, I'm gonna go with meat just because lately I love candy so much, but I feel like I have so much sweet stuff that I really just love to have something a little bit savory and salty, and meat is so good.
All right. I could see that. It was for
Mhm.
me, it was between meat and pasta. So since you're picking meat, I think I'm gonna go pasta.
Yeah.
Do you like or dislike surprises? I like surprises. I hate surprises only if they come from close people or only from strangers.
Oh, not from strangers. That's weird.
That's weird. I think I'm gonna pick only from people that are close to me.
I don't know. I mean, I love Christmas, and I guess that's a surprise what gifts you're getting. So I'm gonna go with the close to me too. I got the boy called Christmas.
Guys, we just had a moment where we had to pause for a second to let our quizzes update. And Kennick was like, I didn't get an answer. It just says the boy called Christmas. And I'm looking at mine and mine doesn't say that. And then I'm like, I think that's who you got.
Yeah. And like I'm very similar to like I'm very similar to Nicholas, so I'm fine with that. Like I was saying, I think me and him are very similar.
That's funny. That was just really funny.
hmm
I got Aunt Ruth.
Ooh,
Truth
I see
16.
it. I see it. I see you being McGonagall.
So I'm okay with that. Maggie Smith, you and I are the same.
This is going to be a really fun Muggle Mysteries. Today we are going to be talking about our hopes for what we want for Christmas and different activities we have done or plan to do for this Christmas season.
I know I love the holiday season and I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Uh, some of my favorite things are I don't know, my favorite treat to make. I'm going to start with that. My favorite treat to make is sugar cookies. What's your favorite treat?
I think that's good. Our family, like, we have this tradition where our mom is just awesome and she makes all of these amazing treats every Christmas. My favorite is called Cheese Krispies, and which is so sad.
Ew.
I love them so much, but it's like fried cheese, like with Rice Krispies. It sounds weird, but they're surprisingly amazing.
They're not good, guys. They're not good.
They're amazing. Don't listen to him. All right, what else do we like about the holiday season? I know I love the holiday movies. Like I can watch, I feel like so my husband hates this because For me, after Thanksgiving, we're not allowed to watch any movies that aren't Christmas movies. So
Ooh, that makes sense.
we just constantly watch Christmas movies.
I don't like that rule. I mean, I like watch other movies too, but I love Christmas movies, but I don't hold myself back from watching other things.
Oh, I totally do. And I'm okay with it because there's so many Christmas movies that are available.
I mean, what's your favorite Christmas movie then?
Oh man. If I was going with like my kid, like childhood favorite, it would be Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the claymation. For me,
Okay.
it just brings back the magic. I love it so much. If I'm not going with that, if I'm going with like classic Christmas, Home Alone.
I'm kind of stuck between either Polar Express, which I love, love, love Polar Express, or the live action Grinch.
Oh, that one was so good. Jim Carrey. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's a tie for me. I think I like them both the same.
I'm pretty sure I could quote almost all of the Grinch.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I've seen it that many times.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Martha, baby, but the G train has left the station. I can't really do a Grinch impression.
No,
but
that
there's
was great. I love it. That was awesome.
Thanks.
But what's your favorite holiday tradition?
Okay, so guys, this is something that like it kind of doesn't really feel like Christmas unless everyone's like kind of in the same place. So what I think is everyone that sort of comes home or everyone that we FaceTime, we all love to sleep in the same room on Christmas Eve. And it's the funnest thing. 'Cause, like we watch a TV show before we go to bed and we all wake up and we all go down at the same time and we open our presents and it just feels so cozy because everyone's there.
And it's been like this has been a tradition, guys, that we have done since I was little, and I'm the oldest. And so it's been like, I mean, I'm 30, what how old am I? 31. I'm 31 years old. We've done this the whole time that I can remember, and it's just great. Like you said, like we watch movies, we're all in the same room, we're reminiscing. We make fun of each other because some of us snore, i.e. me.
Oh
Uh
no, she's like a pig, guys. She's like a pig.
Sometimes you just can't help it, okay? But it's
Mhm.
I mean it
And
is
her husband. I'm sorry to her husband, but he's so bad.
we're both really bad. Therefore we make a good couple. But honestly, like I would agree with you. Like that's my favorite holiday tradition is just getting everybody together. And our family lives in different states. So our immediate family, like my sister lives in New York, Kinnick's in Massachusetts, I'm in Indiana. My brother goes to University of Connecticut, so he's in Connecticut. So we're all over the place. So it is really cool when we all get to at least be in the same place. And when there are years like this year, for example, I'm not able to come home just with COVID and everything. But we do FaceTime. And so it's like I can still be there because of technology, which I have really enjoyed these past 2 years, like not being able to come home.
Yeah. And then something else. I'm looking around the room that I'm in right now, and I have a Christmas tree, which I love. I always, when I think about Christmas, I think about Christmas trees. And I have advent calendars, and all around me, it's just like so cozy. There's like streamers and Christmas lights and just a ton of decorations. And that kind of just brings it all in and makes me remember, oh, it's actually December. It's Christmas time. It's almost Christmas.
I think there is something to say about Christmas being cozy. And like guys, when he say he decorated, like he went all out and decorated this year. It's amazing.
I have a winter wonderland, guys.
And that's it, guys. Thanks for listening to our first annual Christmas special of Whimsical Wizardry.
Hopefully, you'll join us for our next episode. And if you like what you heard today, please consider subscribing on YouTube and Apple Podcasts.
We also have an email account at wizardrywhimsical@gmail.com if you'd like to send us a comment or a question or just anything you'd like.
See you next time on Whimsical Wizardry.
Bye.